25,000 different things we can make from it. And if we give it a chance, we'll save the blinking planet. Food, fuel and medicine, necessities for life. A benefit to all of us, our wonder and delight. Within this smelly weed, there's more than meets the eye. So much, much more than smoking, it can cleanse our dirty skies. Cannabis, cannabis, we'll save the planet with cannabis. Cannabis, cannabis is a very useful weed. Cannabis, cannabis, we'll save the planet with cannabis. Cannabis, cannabis is very good indeed.
Hemp Works, yes it does. Time for hemp, yes it is. And tonight I've got my Graham back on. Graham, this is his second appearance, and we loved him so much he's back on already. Now look, his CV, I can't read it all out, it's too much. It's like background in biology, chemistry. This man can read the body inside out. He's a naturopath, a nutritionist. Oh, it just goes on and on and on. I'm really, Graham, I mean, you're too young. How did you get all this?
Well, I was just saying this the other day that I was speaking to someone and I was saying that it feels like my life has been on fast forward ever since I was born, you know. That's how it feels, because it feels like I've lived like 15 lives already, and you know, I've just had a baby boy, and it just made me realise how fast my life has been.
Wow.
And yeah, it all started from when I was born, you know.
You're breaking in and out, Graham. Are you moving around?
I'm not, no. I'm sedentary, which is unusual for me.
Okay. Right, it was just sort of breaking in and out a bit. Maybe it'll sort yourself out. Yeah, it is. It's I mean, I have met you, and you only look about 12.
The diet works, then.
Yeah, the diet works. Well, I wouldn't take too much. I think you might need to take a bit of poison, actually. You're regenerating a bit too quick. You're going to be in your son's nappies before you know it. But yeah, it is. I do know. I know people that have been working with you, and really, it's a remarkable CV, and all of it leading up to really just helping to heal people, isn't it? So welcome back on, Graham. We've missed you. Yeah, you made a really large impact last time, and it says that in your CV about you seem to have the ability to heal people without doing anything, and I've come across those people before. I had one that actually was a mechanic. Do you know that? We actually called him. We said he was a doctor, because how many motorbikes ever came into our workshop and he would literally just lay hands on them and they'd work. It's like, I've never seen anything like it. It was like remarkable. But, you know, if that's healing for you, he was just healed engines.
Well, that's the thing, you know, you can have a shamanic experience like that wherever you are in the world. You know, I've met people who just put their hands on you, and you know, you instantly feel better, and just by somebody's information that they present, they can feel better. So you know, a lot of people are not availed with what is actually going on in the human physiology. So you know, they just pass it off as Western medicine approach, even in herbalism. You know, when it comes to herbalism, we still have a westernized medicine approach, and you know, that can be good on the two-dimensional reality, but on the multi-dimensional reality, it doesn't really serve us that well. You know? So, you know, having a multi-dimensional perspective on healing, or helping someone assist themselves in healing, can be very powerful for that person.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I do agree with that, because I know when I went to India, when I was really crook, I remember getting off the plane and my feet literally touching the ground, and I just felt better. And that was after an 18-hour, you know, it's just quite an arduous travel to India, and heat changes and time changes, and yeah, I really did feel just that touch of a different ground with a different energy in it passing back through my body. And as you know, there's certain places on the planet, like I mean, Stonehenge has just gone through the solstice, and Stonehenge, if you go there on a nice quiet time, or Avebury, or many of the other standing circles, there is real good quality vibrational energy in these things. We know so little, really, don't we? We're just scratching the surface. Exciting, though. Very exciting.
It's expanded the mind, body, and spirit. You know, gives us access to those energies that we can, well, for the want of a better word, access through touch, through sound, and just through all in all experience. Like you said, just putting your feet touched the ground, and you instantly felt better. That's an energetic connection that we all really need to tap into. This is the reason earthing, grounding works. Walking barefoot on the earth, as hippy dippy as it sounds, it does have sustenance when it comes to human physiology, and we need to actually, or we would do well to actually tap into these kind of energy systems, because the earth actually gives us antioxidants. It's one of the most powerful antioxidant supplements that we could have access to, and that's just putting your feet flat on the earth, barefoot. Yeah. How powerful is that,
Because don't all the nerve endings, they all finish in the feet as well, don't they? This is why you have this beautiful foot massage when you get reflexology. And I love reflexology. I'm really, of all the arts, if there's a reflexology available at a show, that's the one I always go for at the end of a show. Go and have some reflexology. It's just, I always find it amazing. And as you say, walking bare feet, it's...
And because your kidneys and your adrenal, that area, that's your battery for your body. And kidney 1, K1, between your big toe and your toe next to it, that's K1. When that's touching the earth is pumping out negative ions, or what you could say is like hydrogen, basically, or some people would like to translate that into love. And when you walk in barefoot, you are getting that hydrogen. Any hydrogen-like substance in the body obviously pulls in oxygen, and it creates water in the body. And this is how the water table is created also. And because hydrogen always wants to mate with oxygen, and the reason we get morning dew water on the leaves at 5-6 o'clock in the morning is exactly this on trees, because the trees take up hydrogen from the roots, and then they basically put it through their tubules in the trees, it runs through all the sap, and then once it gets to the leaves, because it's trying to get to the sun, it's trying to mate with oxygen, so once it gets to the leaves, you get like this pop, and it's creating water on the spot. Water is always created out of nothing every day, and it duplicates itself also. This is why when you go to a spring, and you'll see the spring coming out of the earth 2 minutes down the road, or down the forest, or wherever the spring is, you'll find it has replicated itself. The amount of rainfall does not equal the water that occurs in rivers or creeks.
Wow.
Yeah, it's created out of nothing. It's created out of the hydrogen-oxygen bond.
How fantastic is that? That really is alchemy, isn't it?
Oh, completely. And this is what all the alchemists were dialed into.
Yeah.
Of course.
I've seen it when I've been in a hemp crop. I've watched water vortexes appearing, because it's pumping. It's pumping constantly. It's like a mini forest, and it's going really, really fast all the time. And you can actually see the water vortexes forming and going up.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, Steve, think about it. Tetrahydrocannabinol.
Wow, yes.
It's one of the most hydrogen-rich plants on the earth, and that's one of the reasons why it's such a powerful herb.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll share a story with you then, if you like. You know these little trichomes that appear under the microscope that look like sort of like clear mushrooms, when they're scoped right up. Well, what they are is they really appear. They appear all the time, but predominantly at night when they produce those. And what they are is they're a molecule of pure THC and all the CBDs and of oxygen. Yeah. So when it gets cold at night, they tend to freeze, and the wind picks them up, and they travel in the air. And because womankind, childkind, has always lived close to a crop of hemp or cannabis because of its agriculture and medicine and all the other aspects of it. So man and cannabis have always sort of lived together. So these molecules would blow off in the night, off from the plant, and travel through the air, and then they'd find their way into the human's nasal cavity, where the hair inside the nasal cavity would capture these molecules, heat them, and of course they would melt. So therefore you're getting a pure molecule of oxygen and THC and CBDs.
Wow.
so that enables you to dream in the night.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's what they do. It's amazing. Yeah, if you ever get a chance to really camp out in a cannabis crop, it's just the most incredible. You don't need to smoke or eat anything. Just go and sleep there. Yeah, spend a night with it.
Well, I've never actually had that pleasure yet. I would actually like to have that pleasure of sleeping in a cannabis crop, just camping.
Oh, next year, hopefully, next year,
Yeah.
in Dorset. Yeah, we got a big 50 hectare farm going in. So next year, about next September. Yeah, we'll have a harvest festival day or harvest festival week, and you can all come and camp in the crop.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah,
you do know that I'll be testing the whole thing out. I'll be.
I wouldn't expect anything less. Absolutely, you test away to your heart's content. I'm sure we'll find you eventually in 50 hectare.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean,
that'll take a while.
The blender will be there, the whole thing, and just be like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, that's all you need is the blender and the sunshine, and well, you can even collect the water there now, can't we? We can put up one of those tarp things and get the water.
Yeah, that would be interesting, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't it? That really would be light water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We'll do some colados with that. Oh, we can have so much fun. You better come for a month, actually.
Well, I'll write it in my diary, you know. I'll specifically make time for this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So that's fantastic. So what have you been up to, Graham? Since we last spoke.
Well, I've been doing assessments for people, helping people assist themselves in healing and things. That's kind of what I do. I'm training people up now. I've got a training course, a Light Force certified training, and basically it's availing people with Light Force food. And I'd like to talk a little bit about Light Force food, if that's okay.
Go there. Absolutely.
Because, I've been a raw foodist for a while, I've been a living foodist for a while, and I realised that there was actually some imbalances between the whole thing, because when you look at blood through a microscope, you can kind of see what happens in the furthest reaches of outer space. Right, because that's what it's like. The blood is like space when you look at it through a microscope. And, I realised that actually certain foods, even certain raw foods, aren't that beneficial for the human physiology. I've just had a conversation, it just happened to be on Facebook actually, about bananas, and people saying bananas are fantastic and okay, and yeah, everything's hybridized, and yes, that's true, but that's not the issue, because Light Force food is food that is rich in biophotons, and these are molecules that accumulate, and basically what they are is they are suspended light. So it is light suspended in life, and it is actually the molecule of life. It's what makes up all of life, and
like the precursor.
Yeah. And some people say, well, where does that come from? And then you could take your imagination all the way out to where you want to. So basically it's downloaded information from the cosmic universe right into our body, as we are created as such, as one, if you want to take it there. But Light Force food is food that is rich in biophotons but doesn't have any negative bioaccumulation. What does that mean? That means say, for instance, a banana, right? It contains a disaccharide sugar that is a fraction of a polysaccharide. We all need sugars. Our bodies run off sugar. But disaccharide sugars cannot be managed by the liver. When we have this occur, the liver just dumps the sugar in the blood, kind of like, I'll just put it in the cupboard for later, And once there's sugar like that in the blood, then we can have a mold, yeast, and fungus-like condition occur in the body, which can lead to neoplasm, i.e., cancer or this kind of thing. But it can also lead to candida-like symptoms. Most people think candida is just like thrush or something like that, but it's much more than that. Candida causes a myriad of diseases, if you will. It can cause cachexia, which is the ability to build, and you're just in almost like a fermentative state. The cells should not be in a fermentative state. So that's what I mean by negative bioaccumulation. The banana could have like a myriad of good things in it, but because of this one thing, it can actually accumulate over time, 20, 30 years. Now, I'm focused on food that doesn't have this accumulation and actually has a positive bioaccumulation. And that is something like phytochemistry that pushes out negative bioaccumulation. You know, potatoes have certain indigestible proteins in them, as does wheat. You know, we've all heard of gluten, maybe we've heard of gliadins, maybe we've heard of glutenins and caseins. These are all indigestible proteins. And when we introduce that into our body, our intestinal tract, our submucosa becomes disabled because it can't be broken down. Now, when that's disabled, it becomes inflamed, and that's a chronic inflammatory condition which actually shuts down the nervous system as it is linked to the stomach. It takes out the microvilli response, so it's hard to actually assimilate any nutrients from our food. It's very fascinating when you look at it, because if you avail yourself with physiology, then you can see that most people who are ingesting these indigestible proteins have a very slight facial paralysis. Now, the average person walking around won't notice this on a person, but if you are availed with physiology, you'll see it, and that's one of my jobs, is to spot this, especially in the tongue region and the left side of the face. It's very fascinating. And, you know, not to mention that wheat also grows, well, ergot also grows with wheat and spelt, and with that we have like an LSD like response, and because ergotamine is what, you know, creates LSD. Well, LSD is extracted from ergotamine, as you may know. So we have that nervous system poison, and it can actually manipulate our mind to create other than beneficial choices for our physiology and for mankind as well.
Wow. Graham, I'm going to have to hold you there. We're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back, and I want to talk a little bit more about bananas and actually get some names of these amazing foods from you. Let's go for the break. Let's pay the sponsors. Let the sponsors pay us, shall I say? Something like that. It's a symbiotic relationship.
Yes. Definitely.
That's sponsors. At some point, Casper might play today. Sorry, sponsors.
You are listening to the Time for Hemp Global Broadcasting Network. Please share us with your friends.
THCF Medical Clinics are the premier physicians clinic in the United States. THCF has offices all across the United States from Hawaii to Michigan. THCF Medical Clinics has helped approximately 150,000 patients obtain their medical marijuana permits to legally possess, grow, and use medical marijuana. If you have chronic pain, multiple sclerosis, or any other neurological degenerative disease, or if you have any gastrointestinal disorders such as GERD, irritable bowel syndrome, or if you have AIDS, cancer, spastic disorders, seizure disorders, or glaucoma, call us at 1-800-723-0188 or visit us online at hemp.org. Again, the number is 1-800-723-0188 and the site is hemp.org.
In need of a ganja vacation? Blaze away.
Don't criticize it.
Hotbox Jamaica. Chill. Relax and burn all day while watching the amazing ocean view. Listen to the birds. Bathe in the mineral waters of the Ganja River. Munch on tasty Jamaican Rasta food. Take a weed farm tour and hold a meditation. Book this amazing vacation for $420. Get the Sativa Special. 7 nights in Sativa dorms with ganja meals and airport transfer. Check us out at hotboxjamaica.com. That's hotboxjamaica.com. Hotbox Jamaica, a higher meditation vacation.
Indigrow is your source for affordable induction grow lighting. First discovered in 1891 by Nikola Tesla, Indigrow lights deliver 11 years of electronic sunlight to your plants. Indigrow lamps require less than half the power of traditional HID lamps. Converting to Indigrow lights means you'll cut down on your power bill with less lighting. Indigrow lamps also use 5 times less mercury than traditional fluorescent or HID lamps, making Indigrow not only energy efficient but environmentally friendly as well. No more switching out lamps between vegetative and flowering stages. As nature intended, your lights get a steady dose of UV light. That makes your plants grow healthier and stronger. Indigrow products are manufactured in San Diego, California, and come with a written 10-year warranty. What Tesla knew, then growers know now, is that Indigrow lighting is the cost-effective addition to your victory garden. To learn more or order now, go to inda-grow.com. That's INDA-GRO.com. Or call 877-452-2244 to answer any of your questions. These guys really know lights. Indigrow really is your sunlight in a box.
Education and information. See what all the buzz is all about. It's time for hemp. It's time for hemp.
Cannabis will save the planet with cannabis. Cannabis, cannabis is a very useful weed. Cannabis, cannabis will save the planet with cannabis. Cannabis, cannabis is very good indeed.
Right, before the break, we was talking about some of these amazing foods that we need to be putting in our diets, or it would be beneficial to put into our diets. So what particular, I know you've given them the sort of the big name, but when I go down to the local farmers market, what foods am I looking for?
Oh, well, that's a good question. It's, well, I like to start out with this one. Is it a disaccharide? Is it an indigestible protein? Does it have excess IGF-1s, etc., etc.? If not, then usually they're fine. But like you said, what will I like to eat and what could I eat? Fruits and vegetables are perfect. There is a list of possible foods to avoid. Nuts and seeds are perfect, as they are technically a fruit in botany. Any food that emanates from a flower is actually a fruit. We are frugivores by nature, but bringing in some green as well helps clean things out. So fruits, you're looking at apples, oranges, pears, you're looking at mangoes, you're looking at, oh my god, durians if you can get your hands on them. All of the tropical fruits like starfruit and lucuma or egg fruit, and there's a myriad of foods and very little that we can possibly do well to avoid, actually, because in my lectures what I do is I start out with the foods that I basically get it out of the way. I start out with the foods that are probably beneficial to avoid, and I go down the list, and the list is this: bananas, dates, kiwis, pineapples, beetroots, corn, potato, rice, wheat, soy, flesh, eggs, unfermented dairy, carrots, beans and legumes, cashew nuts, also sugar cane, as it is a disaccharide, sweet potato, and then you look at that list and people go, and everybody's addictions come out, right? And then on the lecture, they're like, oh my God, I can't eat anything. And I say, what can I eat? And then I say, everything else.
Everything else. Yeah.
Right? That list, and if we look at the foods of the world, right, anything we've got access to, and we look at that list, it's very insignificant of what we would do well to avoid. However, saying that, it depends on someone's condition. So if someone is going through a neoplastic condition, it's best to stay away from heavy sugary fruits, especially juice. Juicing, to me, is not a light force food. Juicing can be magical. to get a medicine in. For instance, cannabis juice is fantastic to get that quick medicine in. But, juice and orange juice and apple juice, anything like that, if it's not providing a medicine fully, then, it's best to just blend, because we need fiber as well.
Yes.
But foods that we can get at the farmer's market or the supermarket, apples, oranges, pears, mangoes, avocados, courgettes, grapes with seeds in, preferably. All these foods are fantastic, and avail yourself with all the foods that you can find that are magical and are of light force, and that do translate it back into biophotons in the body. Have an experiment with yourself, see what you like the best. Lemons are fantastic. You can make nice lemon drinks, and it's super alkalizing to the body. Lemons will pull out poisons from the blood, contains an acid, citric acid, and that is an inhibitor. Yeah.
Because I was saying to you, I do a lot of bananas. Now, I tell you, one of the first drinks that I take every day is a squeezed lemon in filtered water with a bit of pink sea salt.
Yes.
That most probably helps me alkaline my body getting ready for the bananas, doesn't it?
Well, it will keep your liver going a little bit, yeah, definitely.
Keep your liver going a little bit. Yeah, that's what I want to
do. Well, whatever else is in that drink, will probably also be providing something for you as well. Usually hemp, what that does is that basically it's like a starting motor for your liver. CBD is a starting motor for your liver. So if you have a shot of that in the mornings or something like that, that can help your liver work more effectively. And, like I was saying to you, better to have a poison and not think about it than to stress about having that poison and actually creating more of a situation, right? Yeah. Most people are on 36 different drugs a day. One of them's called TV, the other's called radio, the other's called newspaper, and the list goes on, So, that plus food, plus thought patterns, drugs completely. Anything that takes us up and down is considered a drug, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, you got a good point there, actually. I do chuckle, but you actually do have a very good point that some of the things we think of as not drugs are actually... They are drugs.
Of course. I mean, you see people walking out of Starbucks, right, with a coffee latte, right, and looking at the guy on the street who's drinking alcohol and has no home, and they're looking down on that person a lot of the time, And I'm thinking... you're on the same drugs of society. It's just that they're culturally accepted, and the way that we can work around the drug is culturally accepted as well. Most people are on stimulants, right? Stimulants, I mean, that's a drug. If you're running on adrenaline, cortisol levels up, then something's stimulating you. But I would like to say this also. Coffee, if it's mycotoxin free and it's on like a medium roast and you're blending it with fat and herbs and you're using it as a delivery for medicines, then coffee can be a phenomenal medicine for the body, because it actually stimulates the body to release its own vitamins, to release its own minerals and the enzymes too, and this creates like a vitamin-like effect on the body. Basically stimulates the body to work. It's fantastic in that area.
Is this why coffee enemas were so popular?
Yeah, coffee enemas are fantastic for the liver, because coffee is one of the best things to cleanse the liver out, because it stimulates the liver, it stimulates bile flow, and anything that stimulates bile flow from the gallbladder can actually wash out your internal system and also kickstart everything else.
Is there a particular type of coffee that you would recommend for an enema?
Bulletproof coffee, that's pretty good at the moment. I mean, everyone's talking about that, and it is good because it's mycotoxin free. But most people don't want to be going to any Nescafe or anything like that. So, best to get like Dave Asprey's Bulletproof coffee. And I'm not affiliated with them. I don't earn any money from that. It's just it's just.
But could you really use a high street filter coffee? Yeah.
You could, but you're best off drinking it
drinking it.
Yeah, if you're doing it like that. But if you go to a high-end coffee, then you're best using that for the enema, for the implantation.
Okay, that's very interesting. Fantastic stuff. Yeah, this whole food thing is right. So I suppose we better mention as well, because you're going to you're at Rawfest soon, aren't you? That's our next big event, isn't it?
Yes, Rawfest. I'm looking forward to that.
I am. Yes, I'm really looking forward to that one. That's quite soon, I believe. Do you have the date in front of you?
I think it's the 4th, 5th, and 6th of July.
I believe so. So that's not very far away. So a big shout out going out to them. It'll be a fantastic event. You can either contact me or Graham, or go direct to the site. And that's a 4-day event, and where you meet people like Graham giving lectures. I believe I'm going to give a couple of talks on the endocannabinoid system and hemp nutrition. And there is a whole host of wonderful talks and lectures going on over that 4-day period. And hopefully the sun will shine for us. That'd be nice.
Oh, well, we're not doing the rain dance anymore. We're doing the sun dance.
We're doing the sun dance, yeah.
We're doing that now.
Absolutely. Yes. So, where are we? Right, we've got a couple of minutes. Should we take an early break? What do you reckon? And then we'll come back for the last bit.
When we come back, I would like to discuss more about Light Force food and certain aspects of it too, and how herbalism plays a huge part in this as well, in formulations that can help remove occlusions and what it actually does mean to detoxify. So I think the listeners would love that.
I think so too, yeah. Okay, Casper, if you want to take an early break, then we'll have a run-in for the last section on a bit longer. Is that okay with you, Casper? You there? Yeah, man.
You are listening to the Time for Hemp Global Broadcasting Network. Please share us with your friends.
If you are in the Portland, Oregon area and are an OMMP card holder, then come down to Nikki's Diggity Dank Market, Portland, Oregon's first and only weekly OMMP market, presented by the Alternative Wellness Center, located at 5241 Southeast 72nd Avenue, 2 blocks south of Foster Boulevard, close to public transportation, held every Sunday 10 a.m. till 7 p.m., connecting quality vendors with patients. Nikki's Diggity Dank Market also has a weekly raffle with products from every vendor. So come down to Nikki's Diggity Dank Market and have fun while connecting with quality vendors and getting great natural medicine. If you are a vendor and want a chance to connect with OMMP patients, you can check out their Facebook page at facebook.com/Alternative Wellness Center or call 971-888-4392. Be sure to register early because space is limited. Nikki's Diggity Dank Market.
In need of a ganja vacation? Blaze away.
Don't criticize it.
Hotbox Jamaica. Chill.
Legalize it, yeah.
Relax. And burn all day while watching the amazing ocean view. Listen to the birds. Bathe in the mineral waters of the Ganja River. Munch on tasty Jamaican Rasta food. Take a weed farm tour and hold a meditation. Book this amazing vacation for $420. Get the Sativa Special. 7 nights in Sativa dorms with ganja meals and airport transfer. Check us out at hotboxjamaica.com. That's hotboxjamaica.com. Hotbox Jamaica, a higher meditation vacation.
Indigrow is your source for affordable induction grow lighting. First discovered in 1891 by Nikola Tesla, Indigrow lights deliver 11 years of electronic sunlight to your plants. Indigrow lamps require less than half the power of traditional HID lamps. Converting to Indigrow lights means you'll cut down on your power bill with less lighting. Indigrow lamps also use 5 times less mercury than traditional fluorescent or HID lamps, making Indigrow not only energy efficient but environmentally friendly as well. No more switching out lamps between vegetative and flowering stages. As nature intended, your lights get a steady dose of UV light. That makes your plants grow healthier and stronger. Indigrow products are manufactured in San Diego, California, and come with a written 10-year warranty. What Tesla knew, then growers know now, is that Indigrow lighting is the cost-effective addition to your victory garden. To learn more or order now, go to inda-grow.com. That's INDA-GRO.com, or call 877-452-2244 to answer any of your questions. These guys really know lights. Indigrow really is your sunlight in a box.
Free? Did you say free? Free hemp? Free hemp? Free hemp video and audio? Free downloads of all the top artists, all the pot artists on planet Earth. Interviews with all the people making the movement, making the hemp movement. It's time for hemp. That's right, world. It's time for hemp. That's right, world. It's time for hemp.
Open out your minds. The sun is closing in and we're running out of time. There's no point in worrying, no wondering what to do, 'cause the answer's in the colour green, it's shining through and through. Cannabis, cannabis will save the planet with cannabis. Cannabis, cannabis is a very useful weed. Cannabis, cannabis will save the planet with cannabis. Cannabis, cannabis is very good indeed. Cannabis, cannabis will save the planet with cannabis. Cannabis, cannabis is a very useful weed.
So I'm just going to do a few shout outs to my lovely Hemp Works charity UK.org. They're having lots of fun at the moment, really sort of organising themselves and getting up to all sorts of shenanigans. So bless that lot. Big shout out to Tony Macaroni as always. A big shout out to Beth, Dr. Beth Fisher, because she's moved and settling in. And a big shout out going out to Wendy, that was her first radio interview last night. She's one of the Canna Kids mums, yeah. And we had a great response from Wendy yesterday, and everybody really liked what she done. So thank you for Wendy for coming on. And I've just heard from Sierra Riddle today. She's going to be back on next week. She's definitely my favourite Canna mum if I have one, because she just amazes me. And I know that she's been out on the road for the last couple of weeks. So look out for that programming coming on. Graham, where are we? Right, food. Food,
Yes, food.
glorious food. Yes.
Yes, food. Well, that's a big part of the equation, isn't it? Because what is food, really? You know, food is something that fuels us, yes, but food is also something that fuels our consciousness. In the Upanishads, it says, the subtle energies of your foods become your mind. Now, I think that's quite a powerful statement to, ponder over, if you will. Because food can be a big thing and it can be a big part of someone's life. It is how we interact with the world. This mouth that I am speaking with is how we actually interact, not just on a lingual level, but also how we interact with the food and the people. For instance, at Christmas, what do we all sit and do? We all sit around a table and eat together, right? And there's a very deep connection with the mouth and our hands and the consciousness that we co-create together. Now, food can either fuel that or decimate that completely. Where I like to start is where someone is at. I like to build programs around people because everyone comes from a completely different background, and wherever you come from, whether it be South Africa, whether it be North Asia, wherever, it's where you are at is the best place to start. And in this Western world, we have become so orientated to food that it's become too big of an issue because we've created all the issues around food ourselves. So now we've got to deal with that. And, generally how we deal with that, we hear in the raw food community, the living food community, and the health food community, really. And I think we've heard of this term, detoxify. I actually don't like the word detoxify because there's nothing to detoxify from that the body cannot do itself. There's always this facade that, okay, we have to put something in order to remove something, and that does play a part, yes, because that's what positive bioaccumulation is. But, all these green juices, cleanses for 30, 60, 70 days, it only serves as a medicine and a direct medicine, and it's not a detoxification protocol. That's just called a fast. And all that does is supplies your cells with nutrition enough so that you can get through the fasting days, for your cells to, dump all the poisons out from your bloodstream and into your lymphatic system, then into your colon, so then you remove it safely. And your liver deals with all the toxification anyway. Metabolic detoxification is much more prevalent than, say, the food that we eat, because it's how we break it down, and this is the whole negative bioaccumulation approach. Now, as for detoxification, I like to call it cleansing or purification, is, basically what we have to do is remove any occlusions. Now, the liver is one of the first organs for detoxification. It's the skin, the lungs, the liver, then the colon. That's the order, and that's how we detoxify. The first one that is the most prominent detoxification would be the lungs, but the liver has to work in order for this to happen. It's a synergistic approach. Now, most people's liver is like a soppy wet sponge with wax around it. Impossible to pick up any debris, right? If you rub that over a spillage, it would not pick up the water, and this is exactly what your liver does. It picks up all the toxins by a squeezing mechanism. If it's solidified with wax-like deposits, and if it's not fully functional, then we're going to run into issues.
That's why when you have a liver problem, when they do a scan, when it comes back, they say that there is a hardening of the liver. Mm-hmm. That's the actual, because that is just, you just pinpointed it. It becomes hard around the edges, and that's a sign of the cirrhosis.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And another one is hepatitis. Hepa meaning liver, itis meaning inflammation of. So we're treating hepatitis with injections and pharmaceutical drugs when it's actually an inflammation of the liver, and that comes about by certain foods, thought patterns, whatever we introduce that's detrimental to the human physiology. It's going to have an effect on the liver. And actually, hepatitis does come from a virus that proliferates through the lack of inhibitors in the blood. I call this the light suspension cycle, and I coined this term because, it's very accurate in terms of light suspension biology beyond the cell. And that is, these biophotons that we were talking about earlier, they actually sporulate and double sporulate into something that could be then what we call a cell, a red blood cell, which is actually not a cell, it's a corpuscle, because the cell has DNA in it, and red blood cells or corpuscles do not. And it can then sporulate into a white blood cell, and then, other tissue as such, what occurs in the human body. But if there's a lack of inhibitor there, by the time it gets to the second sporulation stage, it can actually turn into a yeast, and then a mold, and then a fungus, and then it can actually turn into a bacteria and a virus. This is called pleomorphism. Gaston Mason's actually found this out, and Royal Rife knew about this as well. Pleomorphism can show you that one thing can turn into another. And the faster we start understanding what can actually happen in the human body, as opposed to just this is a mineral and this is a vitamin and this is whatever, and it can't be anything else, because that's just bogus. The body is always ever changing and turning into other things as well. If you read Curvan's work, which is biological transmutation, and it's and he discovered that one mineral can actually become another. So silica, for instance, can become calcium phosphate in the body in the presence of certain enzymes.
Right.
You know, this is called biological transmutation. This is one of the reasons that all this works. You know, but first of all, what we've got to do is to cleanse or purify, is to actually clean out any occlusions. And generally, what I recommend is people do liver flushes, liver gallbladder flushes first.
Right.
And during that process, I put people on the Light Force Liquid Lifestyle Cleanse, which a lot of people are talking about this at the moment because people are getting some fantastic results. I mean, you know, one lady that I've been working with had cancer, you know, now she hasn't. Of course, I can't say that, you know, I helped in assistance of removing that cancer because that would be illegal, right, Steve? But,
that would be illegal.
Yeah,
I'm sure that she benefited from some of your advice.
yeah, I mean, yeah. She took my advice, and then she went and did her own research, and then she did it on herself, and then you know, she now doesn't have this condition, and it's phenomenal. And you know, the funny thing about it is that I get thanked for it when it's actually nothing to do with me. It's actually the person that has gone through it. All I am is a guide. And I tell people, you know, they say, what are you? And I say, I'm a servant. You know, it's my dharma to serve. If I don't serve, then apart from my baby boy and my friends and family, then, you know, there's nothing on this earth for me. I'm a servant.
Yeah. Graham, I couldn't agree with you more because obviously, you know, I work with the cannabinoid medicine for the endocannabinoid system, which has a remarkable healing effect on many, many illnesses and diseases. And a lot of people thank me, and I say again, all I am is the transmitter of the information. Yeah?
Exactly.
I've done my homework, I've been to school, I stayed in, I studied hard, and I also was my own guinea pig, if you like, because I had the hepatitis C and the end-stage liver cancer. And I used the cannabinoid medicine and some of the things that you've been talking about. Not enough, because again, I didn't have contact with that information, but I had a little bit, which I used, and now my liver is regenerating and is looking very healthy, and my whole demeanour is one of life and regeneration, whereas before, 20 more months ago, it was one of degeneration, with the end stage being death of my body. Yeah. So yeah, again, I totally agree with that. All we are is we've been lucky enough, or fortuitous enough, or geeky enough to study up on the things that interest us, and we found that we've come up now with some very interesting findings, which are very beneficial to a lot of other people. And
well, that's it.
Yeah.
And
we can't call that a cure. We call it a cure. There's just a slight difference in pronunciation now.
Yeah. I think, you know what I think we should do, Steve? I think we should change the word cure to heal. You know why? Because then they can't say anything, right? And then we can then just associate the cure with how or anything like that, you know, because cure means to pickle.
Yes.
So let's get
out. On the Hemp Works charity, we've just gone from cannabis cures to cannabis heals.
Yes, nice.
Because it helps.
Yeah, fantastic. And because, you know, let's get out of the pickle.
Yeah, let's get out of the pickle.
Legally, right? Legally, physically, the whole shooting match. All of it. And, you know, that story of yours, Steve, it's magical because, you know, look where we are at, you know, 20 years ago, just 20 years ago, right? If you were diagnosed with cancer, that was it.
Oh, was it?
That was it. There was no information out there that said you could actually.
3 years ago, they diagnosed me with that, and I was it.
Well, there you go.
You don't have to go back 20 years. Honestly, 3 years was far enough. Especially with liver, they can't give it all this radiation and nasty chemo that they can give to other parts of the body because the liver is such a vital organ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is
and of course, when it's degenerating, the last thing you can do is kill off more cells in it. So the only option left to you is natural cure. Yeah, and we know that natural cure can work. I'm living proof of it. I can actually say that cannabis cures because it cured me.
Yeah.
But
there's nothing like experience, right? There's nothing like experience. You can read 1,000 books and one experience can actually decimate every information that comes from a book.
I mean, God bless people like yourself. God bless every researcher out there. God bless every doctor that's standing up for this medicine. But at the end of the day, I don't need them. I know what cured me.
Well, actually, what we're doing is...
But on the other hand, I don't really even need to, you know.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people, I know how to fix a car engine. A lot of people don't know that, right? And they don't need to know because they get in a car, put a key in it, and it works. And the day it don't work, they call the AA. And he knows how to fix it. And if he doesn't, he knows a man that can fix it. And cannabinoid medicine is going to be pretty much the same as that. Yeah. If you want to get geeky and learn it out, it's there. The information's there. But if not, just use it like you do everything else. And it works.
Exactly.
As
And
long
that's
as you use it sensibly with the stuff that people like yourself are saying. Change the diet. You are what you eat. Here's the latest information. These are the things that are good for you. These are the things that are bad for you. Take these things that are bad for you, throw them out, and replace them with the things that are good for you. And you will automatically cure. You can't. The body can't do anything else, can it? Really?
It can't. It's always in a regeneration process. It's just occlusions that keep us from doing that, you know. And I'd like to point out certain substances like probiotics are fantastic, and you know you got to have specific probiotics. You know, olive oil is amazing against cancer. Anything
and
like
hemp oil. Come on, and hemp oil.
Hemp oil is fantastic. Hemp in general. Any form of cannabis that you can get your hands on is fantastic. And you know, I stand up for cannabis, and I always have stood up for cannabis. I just never thought that when I was younger, you know, 13, smoking with my friends on the corner, you know. But now it's a different scenario. I stand up for cannabis because of its healing potential and its healing power. And I stand up for the people, and I'm a people person. And anyone who hasn't got a freedom of choice isn't free at all. Anyone who is in prison, I'm in prison. Anyone who can't get the hands on medicine, I can't get anywhere around it but to provide that medicine for that person. It's just who I am. It's how I am made. I stand up for this plant just as it has stood up for me, and it's stood up for the entire planet, just the same way as chocolate, just the same way as mulberry and all of these other fantastic herbs. And it should be, and it should be treated as such as well. The olive, for instance. Did you know that olives, once they get past 50 years of age, turn on an immortality gene like ginseng does?
Wow. That's why when you go to the original oil, the Crack di Castello, which is one of the first, they've got trees there that are over, they go back to the time of the, when the Richard the Lionheart and they passed through there into Palestine. Yeah, what do you call them? When there was a big war between the Muslims and the Christians, yeah? You go to that place.
We call it the Bible.
No, not the frigging Bible. The Crusades. The Crusaders went through there. And they actually brought the olive back, the original olive trees, yeah? From Lebanon and from the Palestine. Fantastic stuff. Hey, why don't we give a big shout out as well? Look, before we got a few minutes overrun, I'll tell you one news to media that come up this week as well, and I think he deserves a shout out because he's on the food. It's Jamie Oliver won his case against McDonald's about McDonald's being able to sell that pink slime. Yeah.
He won his case against that?
Yeah, he won it. They've actually had to take the pink slime out of their food, yeah, which is fantastic. There's another man that might not be caught on the quiet, but he's on a food mission to show people what they're actually taking off of these corporate high streets. And he was big enough to take McDonald's on, and he just won his court case. Yeah?
Oh, fantastic.
Big and that was pink slime they were feeding you people. It's just even amazing that a guy like Jamie Oliver had to spend so much time and so much of his money to convince people that what you were eating was pink slime that was unfit for human consumption, and the only way they could make it fit for human consumption was washing it in peroxide.
Wow. I mean, that's just... You know. I mean, I haven't even got words for that because that isn't even any form of food whatsoever. That's just plastic stuff, you know.
That's just plastics. That's just chemistry. This is literally all the stuff that was left on the bones and the sinews, put through a grinder, mixed up into pink slime, unfit for because it had all the coli in it and all the other problems in it, and they wash it basically in peroxide to kill everything. And then they serve that up in their pâtés as a beef burger. For fuck's sake. And you wonder why you get ill. Combine that with the Coca-Cola and the white fries you're eating and the amounts of sugar they get. I'm surprised people just don't drop dead in now.
Well, that's what I say to people. I say, we are frugivores by nature, but, we are in some way omnivorous because we're obviously extracting nutrition out of something. If someone goes into McDonald's to order a meal and doesn't die on contact of that food, it's like, we must be, I don't know, living on the prana, the breath or something like that.
That's what I think so too.
Most people are involuntary. Yeah, most people are involuntary breatharians. They don't even know. Like my dad, for instance, he used to live like that a while back. So did I. I was an involuntary breatharian. I was eating all of this food, getting no nutrition, so I was living on something.
Yeah.
Right? It was got to be something because I wasn't even drinking clean water. I was drinking chemical tap water with like 12,000.
I'm glad you brought that up. Some of my hardcore phases where I used to go on fast for my liver. Because that's the best way, really, isn't it? To cleanse anything, not to put anything in it and give the body a chance to repair itself. Yeah. I would sometimes go 5-10 days, and sometimes I'd put on weight. I'm the only person that become a breatharian and actually put on weight.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Of course, because you're using your own resources.
Yeah, must be. So, right, we're getting close to the end of the show. That hour goes so fast, doesn't it, Graham? It's been lovely talking to you. You're an absolute joy to speak to, and I so look forward to meeting you in a couple of weeks, don't it?
Oh, yes, I look forward to meeting you as well. And it's always a pleasure coming on here. I love speaking to you. I love speaking to our listeners. And, it's nice to have a discussion, and, it's nice to have the freedom, right? It's nice to have that opportunity, too. Thank you for having me on, Steve.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. You've been a fabulous guest, and I know that my audience loves listening to what you talk about. It's just so exciting and so, yeah. And I think when we get together at the Raw Fest, we'll sit down and try and work out a cannabinoid diet, if you like, something that really enhances the cannabinoids while people are going through the treatment. Yeah, that's something that my thoughts have been working on just recently. So I'd like to pass some of those thoughts on to you, and we'll sit down and have a nice juice somewhere and play with our thoughts, see where they take us.
Well, that sounds magical.
As always, we love you.
Thanks, Casper.